Wise women of weightlifting, what's up? Let's talk about triggers, internal dialogue, identifying bad thoughts, reframing them for positivity, okay? So I think we need to talk about a fundamental concept here, and I talked about it in another video, but let's go more into depth. There are always two selves. There's always the light self and the dark self, the enlightened self and the shadow self, like the good wolf, the bad wolf. There's always your self and your not self, okay? And what we want to do is vibrate on the frequency of our higher self, okay? And I don't know if it's news to you, but every single person in the whole world has a negative thought process in their mind, whether it's imposter syndrome or you're not good enough, or there's a whole litany of negative things that just gets thrown in our brain. It's almost like there are two voices in our brain. It's because there are, and but everybody has it, okay? And so I want to say something very heartless, like you are not unique, but like, you know, because we're dealing in a shadow self, it's very sensitive. Everybody has pain, yada, yada. But like truly, like you are not alone in that suffering. Everybody has negative self-talk that they have to overcome, okay? That's a universal rule. It's part of just being human, okay? So the parable of the good wolf and the bad wolf, and you know the father says, you know, there are two different wolves. One's a good one, one's a bad. And the child asks, well, which one is stronger? And he says, whichever one you feed. So let's talk about how to feed the good wolf, okay? So one of the best things you can do is to become aware of your triggers. We always have triggers for bad thoughts and bad behavior, okay? And usually this comes... there's this wonderful therapy tool that they use called HALT. Well, I call it HALTs because if you are hungry, angry, lonely, tired, or sick, you may have these bad thoughts or negative thought patterns or negative behaviors, okay? It can range from, I use the cookie time example in one video. Let's use it again. A lot of people get home, the first thing that they do is they drop their bag and they go straight to the kitchen to eat something. Typically, it's because they have not conditioned themselves to take 10 to 20 minutes of transition time from going from work and being out in the world to home. And let me tell you, if you just do this, you will be so much happier. When you come home, allow yourself to have like 10 or 15 minutes of quiet time to sort of adjust and like just do nothing before you do anything else, before you turn on the TV, before you eat something, before you start getting something ready. Just take a moment. It can be even as little as 3 minutes. I think women need a little less transition time than men typically, just from what I've seen. But honestly, take a moment to just relax when you come home, right? This is a trigger event. Another like bad thoughts, right? And women, we have this a lot. If we see a beautiful woman or somebody who's smarter, we get threatened. We start having imposter syndrome. We start believing that we're not beautiful or we're not fit or we're not worthy of any accolades or kudos that we absolutely full rightly deserve, okay? This is a false narrative. You're just threatened or you're insecure or something is going on. You're just in a place, there's an amygdala response. There's like nerves forming. And like when this amygdala response goes off, it's going to be like, it's just going to be like, you're ugly, you're fat, you can't do this. It's just going to throw all the crap at you, okay? And typically we have like 2 or 3 or 4 thoughts that go over and over and over in our brain. Every single person has their own little personal hell that they mentally live in, and it's always triggered by something, okay? So one of the best things you can do is whenever you have to catch those thoughts, when you're in a negative spiral, you're like, whoa, wait, what happened? What did I do? What is happening around me? Who am I with? Am I threatened by anything? Am I hungry? Am I angry? Am I lonely? Am I tired? What's going on? Why am I thinking like this? What, right? Sometimes it's just existential dread, which is normal. And you just have to kind of keep on living life and going with it. Other times it's an actual real threat or a danger. Anyway, I can't tell you through a video what these triggers are because everybody's unique and we would need to talk about it together, but that's why I'm your coach. So, yes, you need to become aware of your triggers. What is happening? What did you do to either have these bad habits, participate in these bad habits, or participate in these bad thoughts, okay? Also, when you're having these bad thoughts, you need to stop them and you need to identify them without judgment, okay? We all have this voice in our head. You are not a special lowly creature because you have this voice in your head. You're a normal human being, okay? You are deserving and worthy of every positive thing that comes at you. And you deserve to be loved and have a wonderful life. That's absolutely that's the truth. It just is that way, okay? So you have to identify your bad thoughts and not judge them, okay? That's the thing, is the non-judgment. Just be like, oh, that thought's there. And then I like to visualize this thought sort of blowing away in the ether, sort of disappearing away like a red balloon. If you've got any God in your life, you can always say, I used to say, please remove this from my soul. Please remove this obsession from my soul. And I would actually grab at it wherever I felt that thought, wherever I felt that feeling, whether it was in my chest or it was in my throat or in my belly, in my head, whatever. I used to take it from me and grab it and like flick it away, okay? God, please remove this obsession from my soul. You can use whatever, you can use universe, you can use whatever you believe. If you have a higher power, that's a wonderful vehicle for many, many things in your life. But you physically take it from your body and you get away with it, or you visualize it going away from you, okay? With the understanding that that thought is eventually going to come back and you're just going to do the same thing. It has no room here. It doesn't live here, okay? It's just some creepy dude walking on the street outside my house. Just, they're gone, okay? This is how we need to think about that. And then also, this comes up, these negative thoughts tend to come up a lot of times when we're trying to make good, big, positive changes. Why? Not because we have self-sabotage, but because it's uncomfortable. We're doing something, we're pushing ourselves harder, we're making ourselves vulnerable, we're learning new things, we're doing new things, we're having to recreate our entire habit system, and that is like system overload for a reptile brain that just kind of wants to do the same thing over and over and over again, okay? So I like to, this is my snorting glitter / gaslighting yourself technique, okay? It's when you have these thoughts when you're doing something, you're just like, this is such a nightmare. I don't want to do this. You're like, no, I love doing this. I love making a change. My life will be completely different in 6 months. This is positive for me. All right. And you keep on telling yourself that. And there are some exercises that I absolutely hate. Absolutely. But you know what? When I do them, I'm like, I love thrusters. I love burpees. I love that it burns. Everything's fine. This is my favorite. I love running. Okay? You just tell yourself that this is a positive experience. You lean into the pain. You lean into the challenge. You lean into the discomfort until it becomes a part of you and it becomes comfortable and it becomes easy and it becomes a habit and it's something that becomes a part of who you are and what you do. Okay? These are the 3 ways that you can control yourself and succeed. All right? Well, 4 ways, because first you have to understand fundamentally that we all carry 2 selves in us, okay? We all carry the good wolf and the bad wolf, and it's my job to teach you how to continuously feed that good wolf, okay? So, become aware of your triggers, identify bad thoughts without judgment, and reframe your bad thoughts by changing the dialogue in your head as it is happening to you, all right? This is going to serve you over and over and over again.